Hello everybody, welcome to 2D Animation Masterclass Week 3 Lip Syncing. Really exciting sessions that we have here in store. I'm glad to have Jeff Wilson, spearheading this wonderful 4 week workshop. And I think last week we were going from backgrounds, now we're going to go into lip syncing. So this is fantastic. So again, thanks for joining us. And want to thank everyone for being part of this. And also remember, you can rewatch the sessions. You have access to all 4 weeks, so you can review them and go on from there. Just in terms of, I want to just give a shout out to all our partners in this project. So we have the Canada Council for the Arts, then we have all our library partners. We have the Blue Mountains Public Library, the Collingwood Public Library, and the Wasaga Beach Public Library. So remember, you can access the library partners for iPads. We have an iPad Pro with Apple Pencil at the Blue Mountains Public Library. We have some iPads at the Collingwood Public Library. So great resources to access equipment. And then there's iMac computer stations, so you can access all the tools there as well. So just wanted to remind everyone to go check that stuff out. Okay, so in terms of what we'll be doing, we'll be using the ProCreate software. Jeff's demoing on that, so do check that out. It's a low-cost app for iPad, iPhone. So that's what we're using, and that's what you can access on the library iPads as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Jeff. Here we go. Here's Jeff.
Okay, and thanks again, Tom. And it's really good to be here. Week 3, we're moving right along here. Lip syncing. This is something that is a very specific skill that I'll tell you, I wish I had studied more of it when I had time. But of course, when I was doing animation on Teddy Ruxpin and the other projects, I was so busy doing what I was doing that I picked up a little bit of this lip syncing stuff, but it is, if you really are interested, there's a lot of stuff on the internet, and I'm actually learning more now recreationally, just learning about it than I ever did back then because I just didn't have time. I was too busy cranking content out. So now I'm really enjoying the learning experience, and I'm just delighted to be able to share what I know now and to point you at resources that will help you in your journey to do this. This is a really an amazing skill, the lip syncing. You can use yourself as your own model as a lip syncer because we speak every day. If you look at my mouse now, and if I put in a different soundtrack, it would look weird because it would obviously not be me talking. My lips would not be matching the words that were coming out of them. So that would be kind of weird. So what we're going to try to do is correct that and make sure that your characters speaking on screen would be mouthing the words that would be coming out of their mouths. Now, the way animation is traditionally done is it's a really neat process. I don't know if I've gone into it before, but I will now. The first process, of course, is the writing of the story. Then you have the storyboarding process where it's all the script is put into a timeline where the acting is basically ghosted out, and the scenes are planned and shown, and they're not animated yet, but they are shown through the storyboard. And then you have the timing process where you are you have the timesheet process where you're using your storyboard and your audio recording. So what you do is, as I say, you do the writing the script first, you do the storyboards, and then you record, and maybe even the same time as you're doing the storyboards, you're recording the audio track and the voiceovers and the music track or the soundtrack, whatever is going on there, the audio portion of it. And then they are brought together by what we used to call, in the Teddy Ruxpin days, 1986, 87, circa time period, a timesheet or a dope sheet. And it wasn't that type of dope. It was dope sheet meant basically all the stuff going on all the action going on, the dope basically. So that was a kind of a dated term, and I think it started back in Disney or Warner Brother days. It was so what basically the person constructing the dope sheet is doing is basically creating the timeline for it. And I think what we'll do now is I'm just going to take off my sample lip syncs page here. You have your timing sheet, the dope sheet, and it was also called the, let's not do that. Let's try to zoom in here on our dope sheet here. So it was also called slugging. The term slugging actually refers to the timeline of your actions that are going on in your storyboard, and the period that it takes to act it out in the scene. So you would have let's have a look here at our sample here. This is something that was part of the instruction manual that I had at Atkinson Film Arts, and it's very, very interesting because it shows you on the left side here your direction. So this is from your storyboard, which is your direction panel. Which storyboard is we'll get into. We have already gone into that, I guess, with the first session there. So we have the first part of the scene. We start with a truck in. And now a truck in is a technical term, meaning that you start with a wide shot and you zoom in to center or focus on a certain area of the scene. So it's like a zoom in. So you're trucking in, and okay, so the action here says continued action, hand enters scene. So this is was Teddy Ruxpin when we would do a lot of our keys were roughs. They would tell us Teddy reaching into scene, Teddy's hand is shown, rough one, reaching into scene, and then pose, hold, grabs shovel. So and anticipates to lift shovel. So that would take this many frames. So on the right side of that, you have your number of frames, I believe. And so this would take this long to hold the shovel. So he would reach in, hold the shovel, and anticipate to lift shovel. So he would probably briefly and subtly go forward to lift it out of the scene. So that was and then exit shovel here, rough two. So the shovel leaves the scene at the end of the scene. So we have the audio scene here, which might have been music or something here. Anyway, it just talks about the actions and and it has all the other instructions, like the number 10 field, which was our field guide that we had to use every scene because it had to tell us where our TV cutoff was and where all the basically your screen proportions. That was a very important thing to have there. So that's your dope sheet and your slugging sheet, basically. So slugging, and you can search all of this stuff on the internet. You will probably find resources that I haven't even thought of. Your timing sheet or the dope sheet, the word slugging refers to timing your storyboard to your audio recordings. Very, very important. And I would be very surprised if anybody's using these anymore. It's very possible they are, but it's kind of you don't really need it with the way animation is done. 2D animation is done now. I'm going to go to a scene that I worked on in Flash, which is pretty much old school technology now. Adobe Flash, which was a program that I used doing animation with the company I worked for back in about 10, 11 years ago. And so that I don't believe anybody uses this now. In fact, when I did this particular scene for a company up in Owen Sound that advertised at the Owen Sound OHL hockey team games, which there hasn't been an OHL game for over a year now. So I hope it's coming back, but who knows? But I had done the scene for an advertiser with an advertising company that I connected with, and I had done it through Flash because that's all I was familiar with. So I'll just show you, though, that as Tom and I have discussed before, just about all digital art is done with timelines such as this, like Tom's video editing and the directing. It all depends on these timelines, these video timelines. So what I had here was your timeline. So I'd have different layers with different actions going on in them. And in this particular scene, I have a hockey goalie. He made a great save, and then he's the next scene he's anticipating something, and we're not sure what. And then all these pucks just come out of nowhere and bombard him, and the pucks pile up, and he's buried in the scene. And then he's seen later knocking the pucks out of the way and popping his head out, and it's a lot of fun. And it was shown actually at Owen Sound hockey games for about a year, or maybe more than a year. And anyway, so you see, though, the timeline here. So you're going left to right. So for where it says 1 to 5, 10, 15, that's your timeline there. And it shows basically what we saw on the dope sheet. Your actions here, one of your layers would be a sound layer, which I don't have here in this one because this was basically a silent one. But you could have one of your layers could be sound. So you can sync it up, your voice track, with the image here going on the screen. And of course you have the visual of what's going on your screen as well. Anyway, so that gives you the idea of where we're going here with the lip syncing. So it's basically timing out your lip movements with your I'm just going to take my camera here and move it down so we can look at the timeline, and I'll do a bit of instruction here on how we're going to do our animation here, do our lip syncing. See if I can get me and the iPad in the picture at the same time. So we're going to take that one down. So let's just try a few. So and before I do, let's take a look at some of the sample lip syncs. So basically it's drawing, lip syncing is drawing the lip movements to make the sound. So or for M and N, this would be your lip movement here. For Y, y. Okay, as I'm looking at it, I'm doing the sound yes. And then for this one, it'd be T, 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 oo, O, L, for L sound. Here's the E sound, E. Now, this is the lips kind of under the bottom lip is under the teeth here. So, or V. So a hard F sound, F, or V, a soft V sound. And here, A, the mouth is basically A. It's open but broad, widened, A. So that's that sound. So you have a couple of tools that you have right in front of you now that you can use. So let's take a look at this one here. Here's a figure here using a mirror. This is what we used to use, and maybe I know a lot of animators still use mirrors because we were trained that way. When I worked on Teddy Ruxpin, I remember walking around the studio and everybody had a rear view mirror on their desk that they would be making faces into. And all these great faces they made into a mirror. If you don't have a mirror, you probably have something just as good, and that's a smartphone. And you can take your smartphone and you can put it on camera mode here. Put it on camera mode, and then you can, you put it on the selfie mode, and you can do this. Do the very thing here. This is, as you can see, our figure here, making the O sound here in the smartphone. So just put it on camera mode, and just before you snap a picture, even if you want to snap a picture to refer to later, you can do that. You can make a face in your phone and then work with that later. Or you can, boy, it's so handy. It's better than a mirror could be. But if you're drawing and you're trying to just do a quick motion, it was always handy to just have a rear view mirror on your desk. And I remember my dad had an old rear view mirror that came off one of the old cars that he had, and I kept it, in my art studio, and I would use it all the time for just doing emotions and facial expressions. It was a lot of fun, and you learn a lot by doing that, by having that. So let's try to do a few here. Let's do a few on our own here. So I'm going to take my phone here, and I'm going to try to let's think of a phrase that we could use here. I'm going to do in selfie mode here. So I'm going to say go home. So g. So we're going to start with the letter G, and how will our lips look? So I'm going to take my cell phone here, and maybe I'll just show myself here going g. Take a picture of that because I'm not really too sure how that's going to look. We'll turn the camera back over to the screen here, and we're going to try to reproduce that g sound. And we'll just fill in the mouth there. So there's our g sound. And go. Try to do the go. Okay, so I've got that. So we'll turn back to our screen here. That's a fully round mouth. Should see no teeth there. Go. And then home. And I think we could even go back to the there's the H sound. There's our M sound there. So we're just roughing this in too, because we just want to get the sense of it would be pretty much just a partly open mouth. So you put it all together, go home. And I could even just modify this down a bit here so it's a little rounder, a little more closed here. Go home. And you could even take the edge off of this a bit too. Maybe showing it going together more in the center, and then ma at the end. So let's try another one. Let's try another scene here. Take that one off there. Let's try hi there. Okay, so we'll do the letters here. Get that out of the way. Hi there. So H, that's something I don't think we covered in the other one. So this will be very interesting. Hi. So there, the H is a, and I think we could even just kind of curl that in a bit. sort of a huh. So I'll just take my cell phone here and we'll do that again. And then hi, hi. So go back to our screen here. So let's make sure. I don't think I like this part here, this hi, the I part. I think I need to flatten that out a bit more. Yeah, I think I could even widen it a bit more at the ends here. I think that's what I'm not liking. This it needs to be wider at the end here. So this, as you can see, it's a process, and each character speaks differently too. So you want to speak at accents that the characters or like the way the characters speak to. You might want to reproduce that. I still don't like that. It is one of those things where you have to work with it. High. So maybe I'll just make it a little wider at the end here and a little more open than the bottom here. We'll show the teeth, of course. So high. There. So then we're doing the TH sound, which is kind of tricky. And it'll be, I think we did show it a bit there. So the teeth will be on top of the bottom lip. So we'll have the puckering of the bottom lip here. Hi, there. Hi there. Hi there. I think we'll try to reproduce that that look over here. So we have hi there. So we have the first letter, we're opening our mouth, we're expressing hi. So we're widening it. Start from a pucker high. So it's widening in the second picture. It's kind of closing here, but then it's widening at this point. High. So then we there. So it would be actually on the tongue, wouldn't it? I think I will just correct that a bit. So it would actually be on the top of the tongue. And then there's the bottom lip. So there's the there. So the TH would be, the teeth would be on the top of the tongue there. And that's what we are showing here. And then the mouth would open there. And then the lips curl for the R sound there. And then it comes to rest similar to the high part here. So very interesting lip movement there. So that's something that you could work with. And as you're looking at your lip movement, you'd be able to play with that. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the examples that you can get them from. Really amazing sources here that you have on the internet. This is something that I think I had in my resources from Teddy Ruxpin. This is from one of the pages in my little cheat sheet here that I can gladly show you here. This was my Bible at Teddy when I worked on Teddy Ruxpin. I have so many references in here, poses, the sheets, the timing sheets, everything. It's the layout notes. It was a great resource. I use that every day, and you can see it's well worn. But I kept it because I didn't know if I'd be ever doing it again. who does, but it was always nice to have it and to refer to it. So let's have a look at this great resource here. This was from one of those pages, and this was obviously an animator who knows what they're doing. And this is copywritten material, but it's quite accessible on the internet. And you know, these are not copywritten concepts that they're showing here. Here they show fine day, isn't it? Very, very interesting what they've done here. So these are resources that are available on the internet. You can do it. You can go on the internet and find this. You can go to your library. If you don't have access to the internet, their library, I'm sure, would have art books or things where you could have resources like this as well. So that's something to think about too as you do it. And as I'm sure you're probably wondering how to do it with a character in the scene. So let's do that. Let's create a new scene here where we've got a character in. Let's create a character's face. Okay, so we've shown the lip movements, which is a very basic lesson, really. So we'll have the main part of the face here, a hint of a nose, neck, whatever. And then we're going to create a new layer with the lip movements. So we'll do, let's say, hi there. So there's our H movement here. Let's create another one here. We'll take that one out. This is when it all comes together. When you put it with a character, you got it in sync with them. And we just saw an example of the cartoon. And then we have and then the tongue here above the line. That's not a very good tongue. We can do better than that. There's our TH sound there. And we will create our new sound here. Whoops, we just created a new group. We didn't want to do that. I'm just trying to move it below that other scene there. And that was below the TH1 here. So that's for there. The. And I think we just need to pucker that mouth a little bit more. So that's your R sound. And then we will do our final sound here, which was, I think we can actually basically do the, let's even do that. Let's just duplicate the scene here. And this will become our E sound. So let's just erase that one. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's want to erase that and make that an E sound. Okay, so let's go back through these. We have our main scene there. H, E, hello, T, there. There's our sounds there. Okay, let's try that again. Getting confusing here. I got too many layers. So let's go back to that first one. Hey, hello. Let's do this. This should be the hi there. This is hi there. That was the scene here. So hi. And then we have there. Hi. There. So yeah, basically what we're doing is creating the sounds here. Let's go back again to the start here. So the H there. I, the, there, there's your E. I there. So we're going to it's a good way to practice with your this. And of course, in between those, you'll have your timing sheet and that you'll have your in-between movements. So it would suddenly move from, let's try the this one, for example, from the high, the H to the I movement here. So you'd have those two movements, but you would actually be able to do a subtle movement between those two. Now, if you have the two modes there that you're doing between for, you can do this one that will help you to do a subtle movement between. So you're actually figuring out what's the halfway between these two. And it would be something probably like this. We're figuring out the two halfway movements here and moving the subtle lips here. So what we'll do is take those out. So we'll start again, H. So there's your halfway there. And there's your opening one there. And then let's move it there and we can put our teeth in here. Probably show a bit of the tongue there as well. So this would be your extreme movement for the H sound. Then your partway to the I, to the high movement here. So you would do that for all your in-between movements, and depending on the timing, you might have a few more in-betweens, and especially for easing in and easing out, you would probably have more like half movements that would connect better. But you can certainly check these out online if you need to have more detail on that. So what I have done is let's just get out of this all together. We'll get out of this and go back to our main gallery. And I've gone ahead and I did this lip syncing demo here. Now, this is a really great thing about Procreate is that it has. Oops, let's go back here again. It has this great thing called Animation Assist for video, and what you can do is it is in your. Oh, I just had this the other day. Here it is in your canvas. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got Animation Assist activated. This is in your canvas menu here, and your Animation Assist can be activated or doesn't. What I've done here is I've got all my layers open. So when I go back into Animation Assist in the canvas menu here, I'll just click on that. So it'll focus on your a little timeline here. Now, this is the first time I've ever seen this in a program, so this is a very new thing for me to do this, but it's very neat how you can make this work. So I've got this with the drawing guide. The drawing guide is neat too because then it gives you a grid basically to refer to. The reference here is like a small image that you can refer to as well. If you want to import an image to work with or to trace or whatever, you can draw that in here as well. But let's go back here. We'll take out the drawing guide and we'll just use the Animation Assist. Now you see here at the bottom, it has set up a little timeline, and you have a little settings thing here. You can make it a loop, which will basically replay it time after time after time. And this is good for an animator to see it time after time to make sure it's working. Ping pong, which is basically just a random puts in the one shot here or one shot. So it'll run your screen through one at a time in order. But I think I'm going to go with loop because you'll maybe see why in a second here. Frames per second. Now this is the timing thing here. Now I've done 8 because it's a very basic animation that I've done here, and that should be fun. Let's go back to the settings. I just took that out. Now you can this really interesting thing called onion skin frames. You can actually make this onion skin so that you can see through your layers and onion skin opacity. I've taken it down to none so that you basically it will be animating and not showing the whole thing, all the animation together. Blend primary frame, so that's blending one frame into the other, and color secondary frames. I'm not too sure what that means yet, but let's try this and hit play here. Okay, and I've got this character saying something here, and it is, I love you. I love you. So that's fun. So in this particular sequence, I have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, about 25 layers here. So it's playing them at 8 frames per second, I think. Anyway, it's and you get the effect there. So this is, I think, yes, it is 8 frames per second. The other thing you can do is get that onion skin opacity there. So it's I'm not sure what these do, but play with these if you have this program, the ProCreate, and it will really amazing. And just toy with this and play with your frames per rate. You can speed it up a bit. That's 16 frames per second. You can slow it down to, and I added some frames, of course, to give this a bit more accent in certain spots of it. And anyway, it should work pretty well. You can zoom in or zoom out or whatever you like here. And I didn't color these frames because, again, I'm not too sure how to do that. But and basically, I wanted to show the lip syncing here too, the lip movement. And it really does add something to your cartoons. You can do a very static cartoon, but the lip movement will just add that much life to it. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. We were just showing you how you can just look at your own face and create the effects you want to get there. So, so and how do we stop this? We just hit stop there. And if we hit the settings there, we can take this effect here, this onion skin opacity thing here. And again, it was the canvas tool and the animation assist. Now the drawing guide is neat too because it gives it that grid effect too. So we'll just play it again with this grid effect, and it shows you. It can help you with your placement of your lips for the lip movement or for any kind of action in there too, as you'll find out as you practice this. So I love you. A lot of fun, and you can do your own voiceovers if you want to as well. That would be another part of Procreate, or not Procreate, but another part of the iPad. That you might have fun with. And GarageBand is a great program that I think is on most iPads that you can create your soundtracks to, and to to time this out to. I don't know how you would. I don't know if there's a place in Procreate to drop in a soundtrack, but it would be interesting to learn if you could do that and do your timing for that. But certainly with the editing, video editing programs, you could do all of that, and you might even be able to do some of your lip syncing as well on there. I don't know, but that'll give you an idea of the basics of it, and where it came from, and why we do it. And I hope that was helpful. It was certainly a lot of fun to do it for me, and it's a lesson I'll never stop learning. I'm sure I'll just it's something that I'll never probably master. So it's a lot of fun, and I hope you were able to share in it today, and that you'll be able to share in it in the future. And with that, I'll just turn it back to Tom. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, fantastic. I'm just putting up Jeff's email here, jeffwilsonmentorship@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or comments, and just any tech help, Tom at tbmcs.ca. Now, Jeff, that's a great question about, can you add sound? So let's leave that with me, and I'll check it out. And for week 4, we can reveal what's some concepts. But yeah, I will put together some videos on voiceover and so on. So definitely check out our website, tbmcs.ca. That will link you to our YouTube channel, and on the YouTube channel, we already have a bunch of things on, recording, like Jeff mentioned. So at least you can get it recorded, and then you can put it together. So if you have GarageBand, if you're on an iPad, then you can use iMovie. You can take that animation, take the sound, and do something like that. So this is the fun part where everything starts to blend together, which I love when from the drawing to video and everything, we put it all together. So yeah, fantastic. So again, thanks for joining us. You can rewatch this, and please join us for week 4, the final week of this one next week. We'll see you then. And just want to, again, thank all of our partners in this project, Canada Council for the Arts, and all our library partners, Blue Mountains Public Library, Collingwood Public Library, and the Wasaga Beach Public Library. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week, week 4. All the best.